You've seen it a dozen times. The flight attendant goes through the pre-flight safety routine, but who really pays attention? Ashton Kutcher does, and that's why he lived to tell celebrity near-death experience number 17. In 2003, that 70s show was a primetime hit. Ashton and Demi weren't yet a couple.
Before Ashton found Demi, he was, one of Hollywood's most eligible bachelors.
That March, Ashton and his sitcom co-stars Wilmer Valderrama and Danny Masterson were hanging out in New Orleans. Also along for the trip were Colin Hanks and brothers Jeff and George Stoltz from Seventh Heaven.
They were partying in New Orleans for Mardi Gras with Girls Gone Wild guru Joe Francis.
They had a quintessential boys' weekend.
According to magazine reports, the party boys stayed up until 3 a.m. The next morning, the group took a private plane back to L.A.
Well, they're at about 32,000 feet. All of a sudden, the cabin loses all air pressure.
There's such a thing as an explosive decompression, and that's kind of on another level of concern. That's very dangerous.
So the concern in the situation where you lose cabin pressure, lose oxygenation, within a few minutes of time, your brain will suffer permanent brain injury.
The cabin pressure drops, and the oxygen masks fall from the ceiling as they're supposed to do, except many of them actually didn't work.
In fact, Danny Masterson's isn't working at all. He passes out.
Ashton was the only person who was awake at the time, so he started scrambling.
Ashton goes right into superhero mode, and he starts giving mouth-to-mouth resuscitation to Danny Masterson and Colin Hanks.
Colin Hanks regained consciousness and grabbed a mask, while Ashton shared a mask with another passenger. The stars could breathe, but they were still thousands of feet in the air in a plane that lost all pressure.
You're at 32,000 feet, and you see your plane is having technical problems, you're going to be frightened.
After 20 long minutes, the pilots were cleared to make an emergency landing in El Paso, Texas. Safely on the ground, Ashton downplayed the panic on the potentially fatal flight.
Ashton Kutcher told USA Today after the incident that you really can't be afraid of living. And if you see how he lives his life now, he really lives up to that.
You're either alive or you're dead, and we're still alive, so that's good.